Hello, everybody. Life Coach Scott G here. Welcome to another audio, and this is about hidden attraction or attraction that is unrealized or unrecognized by other parties. What are some signs that someone may have a physical attraction to you, but they're not necessarily willing to declare it, not willing to necessarily talk about it or own it completely? This can be extremely frustrating, and if you're going through that or the development of other relationships, platonic or romantic, please feel free to reach out for coaching. Link in the description um, or the About Me box. Anyhow, so the first thing is kind of dealing with eyes. Eye contact is one of those things that is going to increase if a person has physical attraction. And holding a person's gaze and or trying to maintain their gaze can also be another insight into a person's level of complete and total attraction. Now, a lot of times, if a person is shy about their sexuality or has been in some way sexually repressed, what you'll also find is a lot of people who have difficulty with the idea of expressing how they feel, and so they'll take glances, but they don't want to be seen. So you'll see a lot of come and go with the declaration of emotion related to attraction in general. The next thing to look at is they will try to initiate opportunities for alone time. This may mean taking interest in your hobbies or interests, or also inviting you into theirs. Um, a lot of times that alone time, even if it's by text message or by telephone call or other form of communication, following up with a one-to-one date is going to be a level of interest that they don't know how to fully create. So the invitation itself is the indicator of the level of interest, and so that can be extremely valuable in that way. The next thing to look at there is the intimacy of touch and the continuation of trying to create opportunities to create physical touch. This doesn't always have to be sexual in nature, and there's this level of connectivity there that comes with it. So, in other words, sometimes just a simple squeeze of a hand or a pat on the shoulder or another reason to create a warm touch and an open posture can be enough to show a level of attraction that hasn't been spoken of. So be mindful of people who are willing to create levels of physical intimacy through touch without declaration of sexual interest, because at least in some level there's value in that, and there's connectivity to that. The next thing to consider is internal fear. If they seem nervous, if they seem off, if their um, rate of speech changes, if their speech pattern changes, if they get lost in the middle of their words or sentences, this can be a sign of attraction, especially if it's coupled with other signs. The level of fear of rejection will make a person kind of recoil from anything that could lead to rejection. You'll also see changes in their voice pattern, cadence of speech, trying to come up with other things to talk about, speed of speech, even sometimes using words that don't necessarily fit the conversation, sometimes to try to feel extra smart, sometimes to try to be impressive, or sometimes to show interest in what the other person is interested in, and that becomes almost a continual journey or desire to continue to create those opportunities for that connection creates then a difference in speech pattern. Another thing to consider is kind of that potential of asking a lot of questions. If you notice the level of questions that a person is asking increasing on a continual basis, that can certainly be a sign of level of attraction, and that ultimately leads to a continuation of just getting to know you. But the level of interest also is a way for that person to show the desire to connect further and the desire to create opportunities to connect on a deeper level and more consistently. The consistency and frequency of connection is a great indicator of level of attraction, because it allows for people to continue to be more focused on moving forward, more focused on identifying the right ways to be or the right ways to see the world. It doesn't always come across in the ideal manner, but obviously if you are dealing with anxiety, panic, or other challenges, understanding attraction or showing attraction yourself can be extremely difficult. So those are some ways to identify level of sexual attraction if you're not always familiar. Hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.